We went to a bar. So there's this dude there. Imagine Southern California skater punk type vibe, right?
Got it.
He's got the Dickie shorts, Adidas, type of deal, and apparently he put on Taylor Swift, and like I didn't realize that he was the one that was listening to Taylor Swift, and so I got on and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm putting on a different song," because you can for more credits you can bump your song up in the rotation.
Oh, okay.
And I put it on like Bad Religion or something, and so it was really weird to see this guy come over. He's like, "Hey, I had 2 Taylor Swift songs. Where's my second Taylor Swift song?" And I was like, that was you listening to Taylor Swift? He goes, "Yes, I love Taylor Swift." And I was like, "Dude, I like Ariana Grande, but we're at a bar right now. Like, I'd rather listen to this stuff."
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 22 of Podcast Reload. It's the general gaming podcast by Sifted.net subscribers, where we invite community guests onto the show to talk about the games industry in all its weird ways. I am your host, Vin Hill, and joining me, as always, is my co-host and fellow Japan dweller, Evan Piotrowski.
Sup, Switchers?
And joining us as well is, of course, our community guest, and this week we've got a returning guest. It is Matt, also known as berkough.
What's going on, guys?
Cool. So, have we got any housekeeping? I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
No. The only bit of housekeeping, we apologise in advance this episode. I mean, not really much has happened this week, and we haven't really got much news, so it's going to be a bit of a dragger.
Yeah.
That was a joke. It was a terrible joke. I apologise. A
okay.
lot has happened. Too much has happened.
Good start.
Yeah, so we're going to jump right into it. We've got a question for Matt, which we've already asked you, and you've already given us a nice answer, but you apparently have another one for you, so we're going to ask you again. And our question is, if you could have any developer make any game, remake, sequel, new IP, whatever, who and what would it be?
Okay, so the last episode I was on, Evan actually cut this out. We were talking about Colony Wars.
How rude.
Vin, do you remember Colony Wars?
I do, back in the day.
Right? So there's a developer called Double Damage, which is guys from Blizzard North and Runic Games, basically the guys that worked on Diablo 3 and Torchlight 2. And they've come out with a game called Rebel Galaxy, which was free on PSN a couple of months ago, I think.
Yeah, it was.
But it's really cool, sort of a space sim kind of, but it takes the Assassin's Creed ship battling and puts it into space. I would love to see if those guys could remake Colony Wars.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember the cockpit with the crazy warning tape all over it or whatever. It was on the PlayStation 1.
It was on the original PlayStation. Yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago. But yeah, that would be cool to see that again.
So this must be one of those games, Matt, you absolutely love, right? I imagine.
Right.
Bring it up
Pretty much.
Bring it up every chance you can. I'm checking out a video now.
I'm surprised nobody remembers it.
I do remember it. Yeah. I think this would be great in VR or something.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
We probably could see this make a comeback somewhere.
Well, it's kind of the Eve Valkyrie. I guess that's
that's
PSVR, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, dogfighting.
No, that's pretty cool. I would like to see a lot more games like that, and I think VR is probably going to boost that sort of game quite a lot. We're going to get so many cockpit space shooters, and we're going to get so many horror VR games. It's going to be ridiculous at some point. So yeah, it would not surprise me if we see a game like Colony Wars come back in any shape or form. That'd be really cool to see.
You've got to, otherwise you got people throwing controllers through TVs like when the Wii came out.
Right.
Yeah. Walking into their walls. I can't wait for them videos. Right? It's going to be so good. It makes me happy already. One video which I saw on YouTube once, just some guy with a Wii remote, and he threw it at his TV, and it literally wedged into it. It was he threw it so hard. It looked like it was out of an anime or something, but it was incredible, and he was just stunned by it more than anything because it didn't bounce off and crack the TV. It was in the TV. It's amazing. So Yeah, Colony Wars. That's a great one. Who's giggling?
Not me.
Not me.
Someone's giggling. Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm hearing things. There's a dude in my closet just laughing at me. Like this guy.
No. It was me. Sorry.
Son of a bitch. So, moving on to what we've been playing this week. We'll start off with you, Evan. What retro game have you been playing this week?
I played 2 games. We talked about the whole gaming drought thing last podcast, and it actually got me back into games. So right after the podcast, I played Bonk's Adventure.
Of course you did.
Yeah, it's a short game, and I was thinking, like, I just wrote that blog post on it, but I didn't actually replay it. So I thought, why not go back and play Bonk's Adventure? And then I beat that because it's like 5 levels or something. And then yesterday I beat the sequel, Bonk's Revenge. Just some solid, awesome TurboGrafx 16 platforming. And I think after this podcast, I'm going to play Bonk's Adventure 3. No, what is it called?
Forever the advocate.
I don't know. It's well, actually, the reason I played Bonk's Revenge is that'll be my next TurboGrafx 16 Thursdays blog post, which even
spoilers.
Shit. Well, maybe I'll change it up then. But yeah, this just I love those games. I know definitely it's part nostalgia. I just remember playing, like all the music, like when you play an old game or you hear a song or a sound or a soundtrack and it just brings you back.
Right. Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
like World 1-1 in that game. It's like, oh, I remember playing this like to death when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just
that happened to me recently. I was. It wasn't a part of what I've been playing, but I booted up a Rolo's Adventure. It was on the Genesis or something. God, it was such a terrible game. It's about an elephant that it had powers or something. He was running around with his buddies. But like
I've
the
never
second
heard
that
of
the
this
music
game.
started up, I was like, oh my God. And like this 5-year-old just jumped out of me and was just like, oh my God, I remember this game. And it was weird.
Rolo.
Yeah, Rolo. And I'm like, and then I snapped back out and I'm like my 29-year-old self, like, what the fuck are you doing right now? It's just wild,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I have a couple systems sitting under my TV. I thought I'm not really interested in going back to anything just yet, so I might just play a bunch of TurboGrafx 16 games until the Pro comes out. But yeah,
Sweet.
I like the
definitely a
games.
jump.
Obviously, it's half nostalgia, the reason that I like them, but I still think they're solid platformers. And that's about it for me.
Sweet. So that was the 2 games.
Yep, Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's Revenge.
Cool. Matt, what have you been playing, man?
Well, we got the PlayStation View, right? So pretty much every time I get home off of work, my wife's watching HGTV or Food Network or something. So I figured out a way to load the Windows version of Steam on my Chromebook, and I've been playing Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, nice.
Just something to go back to that I don't have to worry about like any Twitch response or anything like that. But yeah, so I've been playing that, trying to get all the achievements on Steam. I'm only about 8 hours in. I just got on Midgar and I'm leveling up at the Chocobo Ranch. But
nice. Is it holding up though? Are you still enjoying it as much, or is it a bit rough around the edges?
I enjoy it, but it's got such a good place in my heart. Like going back to it, even with the flaws, like I don't care. I spent so much time in the game already.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the multiplayer beta.
Oh, sweet.
Thanks to Shane throwing out those codes.
Yeah. How are you finding it? Are you enjoying it or?
I have not played Call of Duty since Ghosts.
Right.
So I'm really enjoying it because it's enough different, like with the traversal, being able to slide and wall run and stuff like that.
Ghosts burned you out that much, did it?
Ghost was bad, man.
Yeah.
Ghost was bad.
Yeah.
It was not a good game, unfortunately.
Well, and at the time when Ghost came out, I didn't have a PS4, and so I wasn't going to get Advanced Warfare not on the PS4.
Right.
Because I just fell out of it. But I'm actually really enjoying the multiplayer for the new Infinite Warfare. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I played a couple of hours of it. I mean, it's good old COD, you know, the same engine, same feel to it, sort of thing. The weapons are good, but I don't know, like over the past few iterations, which I've missed as well, like I haven't played it since Advanced Warfare, I don't think. But pretty much every single weapon is a one-hit kill now. It's just crazy, like how fast you die. Like you die and then 30 seconds later, you're back into it. Like in 30 seconds, you can die and kill 5 people, no problem. It's just so fast now. It's insane.
Yeah, I would not like that at all. I don't think.
Yeah, compared to playing something like Battlefield, it's just a completely different feel to it now, and I'm definitely like, I've totally made the switch sort of thing. I'm not a COD player anymore, it seems. I mean, it's fun, but it's a constant, okay, I get 1 kill, I die, I get 1 kill, I die, I get 1 kill, I die, and it's just that over and over again sort of thing. I don't really feel like I'm making progress on the game, and maybe like I would, like if I put a lot of hours into it, but man, some of them gamers on COD are just absolutely insane. I don't know if they're all like 15 hopped up on Red Bull or whatever, but they're little ninjas, man.
That's a good, yeah.
They're ninjas. Like, I don't know how they do it. It's like, how the fuck did that guy even see me? Like, he would have had to see in the future to know that I was coming around that corner. You know, it's just that constantly. So,
well, what about you, Matt? Were you able to hold your own over the weekend?
No, my KD is probably it's probably like 0.5 or some shit.
Right.
Like,
wow.
No, I have a lot of instances where like I see the guy and I get ready to pull the trigger and I'm already dead.
Yeah.
You know, I was good at one point. Like I can say that. Like Black Ops 2, I was really good at the game.
Yeah.
But just having not played it in 3 years and trying to jump back in and with the new, at least for me, new in terms of like the movement and stuff. It's been difficult to try and get back to a place where I feel like I'm actually competent at the game.
Yeah. Shit, man. I was playing it for the first hour. I didn't know you could wall run. You know, I'm just walking around like, hey, everybody, like just getting murdered by these guys, like doing fucking wall runs.
I kept trying to like run and crouch, and I was like, oh, that's how you slide.
Right. There you go.
Well, it's because Vin, it's because you're stuck in the past, aren't you? That's why you didn't know you could wall run.
Yeah, speaking of which, this week I've actually been playing Battlefield 1. Came out on Friday, finally, after watching all these people live stream it online for 2 days early because they paid an extra $20. Man,
that's shit, by the way. But anyways,
yeah, I don't agree with it, but you know, I'm not gonna cry about it. Like,
oh no,
if you want to pay an extra $20 to play the game 2 days early, then you're the sucker, man. Like, I don't get that. But yeah, I'm loving it, man. It's such a great game. Very, very much worthy of all the 9 out of 10s that are coming out at the moment, I would say. The campaign it's not really a campaign, it's more like a collection of short stories. So you might actually like it in that respect, Evan. But they're really, really well detailed as well. Like graphics-wise, the story writing is pretty solid. I mean, but all of them are a bit grim. That's the only thing. There's no happy endings, you could say. I'm not saying everyone dies or whatever, but it's always pushing that same message of, you know, World War One, the Great War was just this hellhole, and this is what they had to go through. So,
right,
yeah. But multiplayer wise, yeah, fantastic. It feels a lot slower compared to like something like Call of Duty, you should say. But yeah, it's just nice to have bolt action rifles back as well, to put people down from a distance with single bolt action rifles, compared to something like Call of Duty where it's just everyone's wall running and with submachine guns and trying to murder each other. It's a completely different game. It's a lot about teamwork and, you know, working together and pushing through. But all the game modes feel pretty solid and balanced. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely going to go and play it again as soon as we finish this podcast. So we should probably move on to our main topic, actually, because we've got quite a big subject to actually get through. It's pretty obvious what we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to be talking about the
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
I suggested it.
Hey, man, that sunset was nice.
It was a very nice sunset.
Cool. So we should probably move on to our main topic, which is, of course, the Nintendo Switch. So, Evan, do you want to kick us off with what you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I was right. The review. Actually, I was off. I think I was off by a day, but I just thought.
Doesn't count then, does it?
Let's be honest. I wasn't right then. Well, I ran into something that I noticed that this week was the fifth, or last week, I guess, rather, was the 5th anniversary of the Nintendo Direct. And then there was a rumor about possibly next week, which would be this week now, that they were going to release the Switch. So I threw out a thread on Sift and said, could they possibly release or reveal the Switch on the 5th anniversary of Nintendo Direct? But
It's a good call.
yeah, I think it was 7 a.m. Was it Pacific? Maybe on Friday. Whatever.
It was really early
early.
because I woke up and I saw the news.
But it was 11 at night in Japan, so I cracked a couple beers and I was actually really excited. Like I felt weird because
Same.
and
To know that a console is coming,
yeah,
it's weird, right?
I mean, we don't get that we get that like every 4 or 5 years. You know,
Right.
that feeling like something new. We're finally gonna realize or figure out what this is, and whether that's the new Microsoft console or Sony or whatever. It's just I got a bit, like not butterflies in my stomach, but I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like I love this stuff. It's like E3. You just
For sure,
get
it's something
excited about
special.
video games.
It's not an occasion that comes around that often, and there's been so much anticipation behind this announcement. Just how many rumors have been flying for the past 18 months. I mean, ever since that first conference when they even mentioned the NX at that DNA partnership deal conference in Japan. Like ever since then, people have just been like, "What the hell is this thing?" Like, and to the point where all these rumors built up, and when it was finally revealed, like a lot of them rumors, like as Shane was saying on Game Face as well, a lot of them rumors sort of came true, which is really weird as well. It's a whole different thing, I guess. But
there's nothing I saw that like was new.
It had a stand.
The rumors.
It had a stand on it. They never told us that. Oh wait. Actually, I think that wasn't one of the rumors, to be honest. I don't even know.
It might have, yeah. I mean, like a docking station or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to... first, I'll throw this to Matt. Just what's your general... Like, how do you feel about it in general? Just in a sentence.
Excited. Yeah, in one word. Yeah, I'm excited. When I saw Skyrim, I was like, okay, they've courted some third parties. Like, this could be good going forward. And yeah, I mean, it just comes down to like, what are we going to be playing on this? That's what I'm interested in.
Well, I'm not playing Skyrim on it because I'll have my Pro, It's a...
Right.
Sure.
But it leaves it open
Sure,
at least.
sure. All right, excited. Vin, how about you?
I would say cautiously optimistic, I would say. Very interested in it. Looks really cool concept. And I just hope that Nintendo back it up. I hope that they support studios and they support their third parties to actually get this thing to a popular level where it can survive. Because if we go through the Wii U again, then it's tough. I mean, it's hard to trust this thing yet because of what's happened with the Wii U. Like if this was coming off the back of the Wii, I'd be hyped to hell. I'd be like, yes, this looks awesome. This is exactly what Nintendo need. But I'm cautious at this point because I know Nintendo dropped the ball in the past. So yeah. But how about you? Like, how do you feel about it?
I don't know. I don't think I'm excited, or I think I'm going to buy it at some point, but I don't know if I'm going to buy it in March at this point because I need to see games.
Guess that's a fair comment.
Yeah, like
I think a lot of people are feeling like that as well, man. Like it's weird that this reveal we've come out of it, and a lot of people have just been like, "Yeah, we kind of knew about all this, but they didn't really tell us anything that we didn't know," and that is concerning for a lot of people.
Well, the thing that bothers me about this trailer is they want to show you they wanted to show you the gimmick and not the most important part of a fucking system, which is the games.
The games.
So.
Yeah.
Well, to Nintendo's credit, though, at least this time around, the gimmick is not going to impede developers.
Sure.
Right?
Okay,
so, like,
yeah.
the Wii, it was motion controls. With the Wii U, it was a fucking touchpad.
Hey, man.
Moving forward, at least now it's like, okay, the barrier to entry to develop for this system is a lot less. You don't have to cram a bunch of extra crap into your game in order to make it work on a Nintendo system.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give them that. Like the only problem with that is like the internals. Like we don't know that yet, and for all I know, like this thing could be as powerful as the PS4, and all these worries that we've got are just completely blown out. And it's like, all right, cool. So this thing is capable. It looks cool. It's a nice concept. It's not horrible to developers, and the fact that it's got this weird control system, like it could be amazing. It really could. But because we've got all these questions, like it's hard to sort of say one way or the other on that part of it yet. So it's weird.
And you know, it's funny in our show notes here. I typed up some stuff about our thoughts on the system. Okay, we have price. It's like, well, I don't know. Games, don't know. Specs, don't know. Capabilities, I don't know.
This is my point though. Like all them things we should know by now. Like this thing is out in March, you know? Like you need to be showing us games, and you need to be showing us specs, and you need to have confidence in it and give people that confidence to buy your system, and they haven't. That's what worries me. And I'm not saying that it's not going to be. It might be an amazing system for all we know, but we don't know. That's the problem.
I mean, when do you think they're going to start rolling out games? I mean, I think everyone's surprised that they reveal this thing so late, if the thing's coming out in March. So it's one of those things, like, I have no idea when they're going to start showing us games. But, like, when do they start showing us, like, okay, there's Zelda, and guess what? Here's 3 more games that will be here at launch. Like, when do they reveal that stuff?
6 months ago. That's when they should have been showing that stuff. Seriously, like E3, like this, they should have shown this thing at E3, and they should be showing us game after game, like month after month. They should just be like, oh, by the way, this game's going to be on it. Oh, by the way, this game's going to be on it. And it's like, all right, cool. Like you're building up sort of like an internal library of games that this thing's going to have. Right now, we've got Zelda, which is coming out on the Wii U. So I don't know if that really counts yet.
I'm playing it on the Wii U. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're going to go out and buy a $300 system, like if it's that much, a roundabout, just to play a game that you could play on a system that you might already have? I don't know.
I would.
Right, okay.
Only if they're able to provide stuff like a unified virtual console and,
you would hope, but I don't think they're going to.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, if they don't deliver on that kind of stuff, then I'm not playing Breath of the Wild. It's just not, I'm not going to buy a Wii U for it. I'm not going to buy a Wii U for 5 games. There's literally 5 games on that system that I want to play.
So is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker one of them?
God, not this again.
Actually, I would love to play that.
The game is awesome, man.
I like puzzle games.
I wish I had a system just to play that game, because like the way you bring it up, like it must be good.
It's good. It is. It's so good. It's such a great game. I hope they come out with Treasure Tracker 2 for that's a system seller for me. That's March 2017. I mean,
cool.
You know, Mario, Zelda, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker 2
right
on the Switch.
Well, all right, let's try and keep some structure to this like conversation.
Right.
We'll start off like as you've listed out, like the look of it. Like, how do you guys feel about the way it looks? Not so much like its price or its games or whatever, like the just pure aesthetic. Like, Evan, how do you feel about it?
Like Matt. What's Matt? Matt is back, I guess. Not you, Matt. Like the matte finish. Sorry.
Right.
It's like, where did he go? Did he go to the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to? I got to edit this, so let's stay on point. I like the matte finish. I don't like how huge the logo is on the docking station.
Yeah, I agree with that. Actually,
imagine if like on the PS4 is just like covered the entire. That thing takes up like 20% of the of the face of the system. I think it's weird that the logo's so big. But just I think it looks cool. I do not like those little baby controllers though.
Yeah,
and
small, right?
well, I never liked the Wiimote. I don't like. That's the reason I never finished Mario Galaxy. I did not like the idea of my hands operating 2 separate controllers.
I'm in the exact same position
Really?
as you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't finish Mario Galaxy,
wow, yeah.
and that was one of the reasons, is because of the Wiimote. It's just, it was too difficult for my brain to get used to. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, they haven't actually said, but that little the middle docking bit where you can attach the two things, like maybe that's portable as well. Maybe you can like put that in your bag or whatever, so you can still use a full controller with it. So it might not be
exactly. So it looks like you can play it as if it was like a Wii U gamepad, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I'm fine with that because I know a lot of people don't like the gamepad. I like the gamepad, the Wii U gamepad. It's perfectly fine for me. Okay. But then you also have the Pro Controller. Looks like it's sold separately. I just hope that you can play. You can just use the Pro Controller for all the games, which I
should be able to. I mean, if the games, yeah, if the games aren't touchscreen, which they probably aren't, because they're trying to sell this whole, being on the TV and then you can switch it out. So there's probably no touchscreen, period, because of that that feature alone. The fact that you can play these games, like if you need a touchscreen or whatever to play a game that's on your TV, like that's it. You break it. It's done.
Right.
But
so, yeah, just to wrap up my thoughts on it. Yeah, like the look. I like the look. I don't like the font for Nintendo Switch. I wish they would have chosen a different font. But I like the look. Vin, what are your general impressions of the look of the system?
I actually really like the look of the system. I think it's a nice direction for Nintendo to go in. It looks a lot more like an adult machine, like it's built for adults, like the Wii U and the Wii, while they might be great systems or whatever, like they still look like they're being designed by Fisher Price or something.
Yeah, little shiny baby systems.
Yeah, they look like they're made out of plastic, and like if you dropped it, it'd survive anything. It looks like a Nokia 3210 in that respect. Like you could throw it off a cliff and it'll probably survive it. But this one looks a bit more. It looks a bit sleeker. It's cleaner. It's nicer. I like the matte finish. I like the color of it. I like that it's grey. It's not like this obnoxious color. I just think it's a really nice little system. The Pro controller as well looks really great. No criticisms from me on that side of it, I don't think. Apart from the logo. That logo is pretty big, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I don't like that it's so big. Is the Pro Controller, is that a matte finish as well? The face of it?
I think
that's
so.
weird.
Like
I wonder how that'll feel, though. The tactile feel of a matte finish. I don't know.
Yeah. The only thing that worries me about the look of it, though, is just the size of it. Like, I'm not sure people are going to walk around with, like, a 7-inch tablet in their pocket or whatever. So you're going to have to carry it in a bag. I don't know how portable it actually is. So, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing, like, the size of it. If it was a tiny bit smaller, it might be a bit better for me.
Sure.
Like, if it was like a 5-inch screen, I might have enjoyed it a bit more. But, yeah. How about you, Matt? Like, what do you think about the look of it?
I like the look of it, and I agree with you, Vin, in terms of it looks like an adult machine. Like, I think just based on the trailer that they released, the commercial, they're trying to gear this more towards people like us that are like in our 30s.
Yeah. Well, like I didn't see a single person in that video under the age of millennial.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's clearly geared towards, okay, all the fans that we've lost over the years, here's our peace offering. Like, we want to try and make something that it still has the stupid gimmick, but it's a more serious machine.
The extension of an olive branch, you could say, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I get based on the look. And, honestly, the Joy-Con controller or whatever it is with the two halves, like, sandwiched into the thing, it's not too bad. I could play on that controller, I think.
Yeah, it's not too gimmicky. Like, I probably never ever like take them out and use them on their sides like they showed in the trailer.
No,
like,
that's fucking stupid.
It's ridiculous. But the options there for kids or whatever. That's definitely like for kids. I think that is.
Well, yeah, for their little baby hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to move on to like positive stuff and then go into our concerns, or the other way around?
Either way, yeah. However you want to talk about it.
All right, let's do. I guess it's always healthier to talk about the positives first. I think. So Matt, like what do you like other than the way it looks? What do you like about the system? From what we know,
the third party support, or at least the third party developer list that they've released. that's encouraging. Okay, so they did have it with the Wii U, right? Like EA was on board, and they did a special edition of Mass Effect 3 for it, and Activision did a special edition Call of Duty Black Ops 2 or whatever the hell it was for the Wii U. But the barrier to entry for the Wii U was the gimmick itself, the tablet controller, right? This system doesn't seem like it has that same barrier to entry, and I think that's going to pay off in the end. If you can just, like, if you're already porting your games to tablets and things like that, then I think as a developer you're golden.
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
no brainer.
Like, you can move it to the Switch, and theoretically it's going to be fine. I think there was an article that was released for Unreal 4, and it is now adding support in their engine to be able to port to the Switch. So that's encouraging. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm looking forward to, is seeing a Super Nintendo version of Nintendo once again.
Yeah.
By the way, it would be awesome if you could buy, like the controls that slide into the screen. If you could buy like a Super Famicom colored controllers, or have like a,
for sure,
like all the
gonna
color schemes.
This is Nintendo, dude.
Yeah,
they're gonna do it.
Like by the end of year one, you are going to see like Yokai Watch little add-on things. You're going to see Pokedex add-on. You're going to see a Fish and Reel add-on. You're going to see like all these crazy things, and that is the gimmick, right? That's the part that they're going to sell to kids. And I kind of feel like this trailer was very much aimed towards the adult side of it, and probably in a couple of weeks we might even see like a kid version of it, like a load of kids like sat around playing different games with like different attachments to their Joy-Cons or whatever.
Sure.
Without a doubt that is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm totally like the person that would do that, especially not the SNES, by the way, with those with the purple. You got to go Super Famicom with those colors, I think.
Indeed.
Is that maroon, right? You're all over that maroon.
Yeah. Oh God.
Deep red and yellow. That's what we like.
Yeah, and not the Famicom either, because that's an ugly system. All right. Anyways, Vin, well, what do you like about the system aside from the look?
I love the look of it. I like the fact that it's a back to normal controls. Like it's not. I was kind of worried that they were gonna be a bit too much like the Wii, where it was all gonna be just within Nintendo's own ecosystem, and it's a pain in the ass to develop for. Because I'm looking at this from a developer side of it more than anything.
Right.
How easy is this thing to develop for? And the control scheme was one of the big ones. I'm not that bothered about like the portability of it. Though I do like the tablet aspect to it. But yeah, just the way it looks is great. As Matt was saying, the sort of third-party support list which has come out for it it's pretty extensive, man. It looks promising. But it depends on a lot of stuff as well, So, yeah, we'll have to see on that regard. But, yeah, it looks promising. I just hope that they can pull it off,
Right.
But how about you, man? Like, when it comes to, like, positive stuff?
It's weird. I kind of play... I think most of the games outside of first-party Nintendo games I'm going to play are going to be on my PlayStation 4.
Right.
And this is going to be a second system for me, so I'm not even, unless some of these games are going to be like Switch only, I'm not even, don't care too much about like third-party stuff. Of course, I want the system to succeed, so it needs this third-party support, but for me, I want to see some really awesome first-party Nintendo games, which we didn't really get to see. Overall, I think I like the look of the system. It looks like they're moving in a healthier direction away from the Wii and the Wii U. And so that's what is promising to me. Yeah. We just have to see, because a lot of the things they're saying about this system, they said with the Wii U initially, and they didn't,
That is a concern. I mean, a couple of days ago, I went back and watched the third-party software announcement trailer for the Wii U.
Right.
I went and watched that, and it's just like legend after legend after legend. Like people from Irrational Games, people from just a load of like really good publishers, Activision, EA, Like Peter Moore was there, like boasting up, saying, "Oh, this thing for sports is going to be amazing." And when you watch that, you're like, that's worrying because they had so much more to announce for the Wii U than they did for the Switch. And we've seen how the Wii U went. And if they're in a worse position third-party wise, like now, than they were with the Wii U, like what does that say for the Switch? You know, that's one of my biggest concerns.
All right, well,
in terms of the...
Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But in terms of the first-party stuff, what's encouraging about the Switch is that it is a mobile system as well as a console for your TV.
Right.
So Nintendo is unifying... Because all of Nintendo's best first-party stuff has been on the 3DS this last generation. And now I don't have to own two systems to get the full first-party experience.
That is a good
Nintendo.
point. Yeah.
You know, moving forward, like I'm gonna get Fire Emblem. I'm gonna get Pokemon. I'm gonna get like all these amazing games that have been relegated only to the 3DS. Yeah. It's gonna be on the Switch, and it's just the Switch. There's no different versions.
Right.
Of
like
it
imagine playing
like,
a proper Pokemon game or whatever, Fire Emblem, like on a big screen. You know. Like that sounds
right. That's I've wanted
the idea
that
of
for,
that sounds amazing.
While all that is good and well, and I totally agree that would be amazing, but you've got to remember this system right now. From what we've seen of the Switch, people are speculating that it's probably about an Xbox One sort of level of graphics, maybe a bit lower. You're basically asking all of your third parties and all your 3DS developers to go from a PS1 level style of graphical fidelity to a PS3 to make that jump. That's basically what Nintendo is asking their developers to do.
Right.
And I don't know if all of them are going to. Like, I really don't. I think half of them are just going to be like, you know what, we're just going to go make iPad games instead because that's our bread and butter.
Well, I mean, they're going to continue the support of the 3DS for a while. I mean, it's not just
for sure.
fall off.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they keep supporting the 3DS outside of the Switch, like it'll be fine. But I really don't know if we're going to be seeing all of these 3DS sort of franchises make the Switch. No pun intended. It's going to be so hard to miss out them puns. But yeah, I mean that is a question. A lot of people are saying out there like, oh man, imagine like a Pokemon at like 720p, like the graphics of like the new Zelda game. And I'm kind of thinking, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, unless this thing does really well. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, it would be cool. I would be really excited to see that. I just don't know from a developer's side if they have the ability to do that, because it would mean that Nintendo need to boost up all of their development studios to be able to support that sort of level of graphics. And
sure,
yeah, it's a huge jump. I mean, it's not even one generation to another. You're asking development studios to jump 3 generations almost, and
right.
that's crazy, you know. So
yeah, but if there's no successor to the 3DS, this is it. This is what they have to develop
for sure.
And I mean, I know you're concerned with like the specs and the power and all that, and being able to deliver this amazing graphic fidelity, but I don't know that it's necessary. Like, if the game is fun, like, because if you watch 3DS videos, right, that are captured and they're like displayed at 1080 on YouTube, they look like shit. These games look horrible. People are still playing them though.
Yeah, the main reason why I'm concerned about the graphics is not because I care about graphics. Like, I can find fun in pretty much any video game. Like, I still play retro games, so I'm not bothered about that. It's more to do with the developer side of it. So if you're a third party and say you're Activision and you want the new Call of Duty to be on this Nintendo Switch system, if they have to go in and downgrade that game in any shape or form, they just simply won't do it after a couple of iterations. It's like, it's too much work. So that means that third party is going to drop off. And it's more about the survivability of the actual console itself. Not so much that I care about the graphics, it's just third parties, when they look at systems to develop for, they basically develop for the mid-tier system. So in this case, most studios are making Xbox One games, and then they'll port it over to the PS4 and the PC, and they'll add like a few extra graphics, or like they'll turn the switches on or off to make them work on each other.
So yeah, I'm not so concerned with the graphic fidelity just because it's going to unify the fact that Nintendo's developers aren't going to have to develop for two systems anymore. They're
Right.
going to have, all the stuff that's on 3DS is going to be released for the Switch, probably primarily for the tablet on the go. But Vin, you were mentioning that if they don't at least hit the technical specs of being the lowest common denominator between all of the consoles, then they risk losing that third-party support.
Yeah, and I think that sort of happened with the Wii U. Like Ubisoft were very much on board with the Wii U, and they said, okay, we've got Assassin's Creed 4 is coming out, we've got Watch Dogs coming out, we've got Rayman coming out, and they had to actually go back into those games and downgrade them quite a lot, and they had to do quite a lot of work to get them onto the system. And I think that sort of pulled them away from that and said, we don't know if we can actually develop for this like full-time like we can with the other people, because we have to put in a lot of extra work. I'm sort of worried that we're going to hit that again, and it's not going to get the support that it should be getting, and it's going to suffer for it ultimately, just like the Wii U did. So that's my only concern when it comes to third parties and actual specs. But again, we don't know the specs. It's one of them weird things.
I mean, that is one of the concerns in general. Is just we don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Well, all right, let's assume that they're using the Tegra X3 or whatever the hell it is, right?
Right.
I mean, how are AAA developers treating mobile these days?
It depends on the country and it depends on the studio a lot. Like Japan has completely embraced mobile, like more than anyone, I would say, because the average gamer in Japan spends about $40 to $50 a month. Right. On mobile games, just like in microtransactions or whatever, because they're all commuters.
Which is a lot if you're trying to compare.
That is a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like if you're comparing to the West, where people spend maybe a couple of dollars a month on games, like over average of like gamers, it's huge. Because a lot of people in Japan are commuters. Like they're sitting on trains, they're sat there on their mobile phones, they're playing mobile phone games for like 2 hours there and back every day. Like it makes a difference. So
I think
in the West, I don't know.
Well, if it doesn't hit the the technical specs that it needs in order to compete with PS4 Pro and Scorpio and all that kind of stuff, then we might just see third parties dumping like their mobile ports to the Switch.
Well, I mean, look at a lot of those third parties on that list is a lot of mobile developers in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw that list, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm on board with this. Like, they've got a lot of support, like from that sort of map that they had of all the logos from all the different developers. I saw that and I was really, really excited. I said, finally, okay, Nintendo's getting it. Like this, they need third party to survive and flourish. Not mainly because of the core gamers, we're obviously going to play third parties on other systems, but to the average Joe out there that actually makes up these numbers for your system doing well, like you need this. And then I started, when you look at the bottom half of it, there's a lot of mobile developers in there. DNA specifically really worry me because they are the biggest mobile developer in all of Japan. And there's people out there that say that DNA are just helping them with their mobile infrastructure, but I don't fully believe that yet. Again, we need more info on that, So that does concern me, like what Evan said. There's a lot of mobile developers on there.
Yeah, and that concerns me because speaking of concerns, I have a 3DS. I've never once taken it outside of my house.
Right.
I played Pokemon Go for quite a while, but other than that, I don't play. I have no games on my iPhone. I don't play mobile games. I have a train commute as well. I'm just not interested in it. So the main gimmick of this system, it's like I don't really care about. I'm going to be playing these games sitting on my couch on a TV, and it's not the type of gamer I am. I don't like it. I used to when I was a kid, but it's just not. The main gimmick of this thing is just not interest me. It's not the reason I'm going to buy it. If I'm having a rooftop party, like a really cool rooftop party,
right?
Like as
Bouching
you do,
your friends up, like, come on, stop playing Mario.
Yeah, like as you do. Who hasn't had an awesome rooftop party?
Right.
I don't know that I could say that I have, but
exactly. So if you did have one, would you be dragging your Nintendo system over with you?
If I'm playing basketball like under the highway with my friends, like I'm not gonna fucking pull out my Switch and start playing a game. I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah, like
with baby controllers.
With little baby controllers, yeah.
Like the points that they were selling the system on, you're right. I don't think that majority of gamers out there are going to be using a system like that. They're either going to be playing it with the tablet on their sofa or whatever while their family members are watching TV, or they're going to be playing it on their TV. I can't see many people sat there on the train with this thing, you know.
And Matt brought this up a little earlier. The good thing about this gimmick is not going to, most likely, it's not going to get in the way.
Right. It's not a detriment to the developers.
It's not a detriment, yeah. Right. So I'll still be able, it doesn't matter. So I can take it outside if I want, but if I don't want to, I don't have to. And like when I play the new Mario and the new Zelda, it's going to be the same experience sitting on the couch. I'm just not going to be playing it on the go, most likely.
This is true.
So
so it's an optional thing. So that's, I'm totally cool with that. Like, I'm not bothered either way. I think from the very moment that they were saying, we're going to be doing a console, and they announced that at the DNA sort of partnership reveal or whatever it was, the second that they said that, I think everyone started speculating, like, this is going to be a hybrid machine. It's going to be a mobile, and it's going to be a console as well. Like, it has to be, because
are you talking about the DNA partnership?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
that's where they announced the NX, or what was the NX then. So I think people have always been speculating that, and a lot of people have been thinking about the portability of it and how much they actually care about it. Because it's like when we were watching Game Face yesterday, like Matt and Shane were going at it. Shane was like, "Oh yeah, like do you like carry it around?" And Matt said, "Yeah, I carry mine around all the time," but Shane doesn't. And I think a lot of gamers are going to have that sort of conflict between them. You know, there's going to be a lot of people out there that don't play games portable, and there's other people that do. So
I think one of the most, in terms of like mobile games, one of the most interesting mobile games that I've played recently was Rayman Adventures.
Right.
If like, okay, Ubisoft says, yeah, we're gonna support the Switch, but the games that they're porting to it are gonna be like those games. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with that. And if I can play that on my TV, it's a Rayman game that, you know, I can play on my TV. I'm happy with that. So it'll be an interesting balancing act between what we normally consider to be, you know, the standard AAA blockbuster, you know, versus the games that we actually spend time on.
And I think it's healthy to expect that, like what you've just said. Like, if you're cool with that, that's great, because I'm pretty sure that's what this system is going to be. It's going to be a lot of ports of lower end graphical fidelity games from these third party publishers. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't have shown Skyrim on that trailer. Like, they would have shown something like Final Fantasy 15 or Kingdom Hearts 3 would have been perfect for this system.
Right.
Showing Kingdom Hearts 3 on this system at their reveal would have been like, yes, that is exactly what I want.
I'm surprised they didn't do that. I'm surprised, like, of course you're going to see Mario or Zelda or whatever. I'm surprised they didn't get that one game. Like, oh, wait a minute. That's the first footage we've seen of, you know, said game.
Exactly. So instead, they came out of the gates with Skyrim. And Skyrim is the biggest worry that I have from this whole reveal. It's because it's telling us exactly the capabilities of this thing. If you're telling me, like, you can only support, like, a third-party game from 5 years ago on your new system that's coming out in 2017, that's sort of a worry. I mean, what sort of system is this? Like, what sort of crowd are you aiming for? And it's cool that they've got Skyrim and stuff, but maybe it is more powerful than what Skyrim actually is, and it was just a bad choice of what game they wanted to show, and they tried to, like, say, hey, hardcore guys, like, we've got the good games too, you know, sort of thing. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just a slip up on that regard. But showing me a 5-year-old remaster is sort of worrying to me personally. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm one thing about this system, like, I'm happy that I don't really play games on the go. It's like this thing is just asking to be dropped and the screen cracked or
doesn't look very steady. Yeah.
Can we just talk about the fact that the controller splits in half and slides onto different parts?
Yeah.
Because if anybody buys this for their kids, I swear to God, the next month,
yep, it's gonna be lost.
They're going to be. I think I made a comment on one of Brent's comments, and he was talking about like, okay, these parts are so easy to lose.
And
I was
he
like,
has kids, so that's the first thing he thought of, right?
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. And the parents are going to be in there like, what do you mean I can't just buy that half of the controller?
Yeah.
I have to buy I have to buy a whole new controller.
Yeah,
So
it's
I guess
tough.
If you buy the system for your kid, you say, okay, look, this is the Joy-Con right, this is the Joy-Con left. If you lose either of these, guess what? You have to play with the Pro Controller because you're not taking it out of the house again. It's called responsibility. But it's going to happen, right?
Totally.
For
You
sure.
can be as careful as you want, but like,
But again,
have you seen
a lot of
anyone's
that-
iPhones? Like half the people I see on the train, their iPhones are cracked.
Broken, yeah, and they're adults as well.
And they're adults,
So-
yeah.
Right. Like what a kid's going to do with this thing. It's going to be insane. I think there's going to be a lot of problems around this, and it mainly depends on the price. I mean, if you can buy them little Joy-Con controllers for like $10 or something, like no problem, fine. Lose
Right.
away, kids. It's fine. But if they're like $30 or something for two of them, that's when it's going to start getting a bit like, oh, Mom, I lost my Joy-Con controller again. You have to go out and buy me another two for $30 or whatever. It's like, no, like it's not going to fly for too
I mean,
long.
those things
especially if it
look
happens
like
a couple
it's
of
just
times.
a piece of plastic. Like hopefully it's not that expensive. There's no motion controls.
You would hope,
technology
but
in there, right?
they've got their own batteries in there. They probably use Bluetooth technology. They could be pricey.
Just based on the way that it looks, how it connects to the Joy-Con base, you know, where the two slide in on either side.
Yeah.
Looks like that's a charger, so it's probably like a PS4 controller where you're not using batteries, you're charging this shit.
Yeah. Imagine that, like you're at your cool rooftop party and you like bust out these little baby controllers, and then it's like, oh, I forgot to charge Joy-Con left, or oh, I forgot to charge the main
Right.
console. Like, I guess everyone go home. Party's done.
Yeah. Like, oh man, this basketball game is getting good.
Yeah.
But speaking of battery, are you guys concerned about this? Like, especially with, there's a lot of rumors coming out that this console, if it is running a Tegra chip, Tegra are quite widely known to burn through battery power quite a lot. So if this thing has only got maybe 3 or 4 hours of battery life, is that good enough? Do you think, Evan?
No, and if like this is one of the main issues that they addressed internally at Nintendo, right? Battery life. I mean, they've addressed it with all of their portable systems, right? Like the 3DS, the DS. They always have to take this stuff into consideration. If it's like 3 hours and finally someone said this is it, it's 3 hours, okay, let's ship it. Like, that's insane to me. If the whole push for this whole reveal was about the portability of the thing, it wasn't about the games, it wasn't about sitting on your couch, it was about cool rooftop parties and under highway basketball. If this thing doesn't last for a decent amount of time, then like, why didn't you go back to the drawing board? Why didn't you figure that stuff out? For me, it's not an issue because I'm going to be sitting 2 feet away from the charger. But for some people, if they want to take it outside the house, it is going to be an issue. I have Bluetooth headphones, and I fucking forget to charge those things all the time. Or I'm walking down the street and they cut out because it didn't have a full charge. It's a hassle to constantly have to be aware of the battery life.
I'm like you, Evan, and I have a DS sitting on my nightstand in my bedroom that I have not charged in 8 months.
Right.
And it still works. It's still got like 60% battery life on it.
Right.
So if they can't reach that, if Nintendo can't reach that with this tablet, this like insane at least 8 or 10 hours.
I don't think it's going to be 8. I think people hope it's 8, but I highly doubt it.
I doubt it. I can't even see it. Like, there's been rumors coming out about it.
I heard 3. I was like, that's insane to me. That's true.
What's the Nintendo girl's name? The Emily, what's her name?
Emily Rogers, I think.
Emily Rogers, yeah. Like, even she said that the battery life is absolute garbage. So even fans that are being quite optimistic about it can't deny that. And
3 hours? 3 hours.
Yeah.
What is the point of the entire gimmick if you can only play the thing 3 hours?
You're totally.
I mean, it's like you said. I'm pretty sure the next iteration of the Switch, like the Switch 1.5 or whatever, it's probably going to have a better battery life, and it's going to address all this. And Nintendo have got a long history of doing iterations of their consoles, but
yeah, I mean, they have to worry about Switch number 1, you know.
They really need to make a bang with this thing. I mean, that's the reason why we never got a Wii U 1.5. You know, we never got any other iterations of that console because it didn't make a bang at first, and this is what the Switch needs to do. So, yeah, it's kind of. I'm worried about it in that respect more than probably anything else. Like the battery life and the third party is probably my biggest concerns. But to sort of wrap this up, like, what's your overall like impression of this, Evan? Like this whole event, like what do you think about the console, and just like what do you hope to see in the coming months in its release?
I hope to see games. I actually think the reveal trailer was bad. Like the rooftop parties, the basketball game. It's like the fake stadium full of people who were watching Splatoon.
The pro gamers,
like
the pro Spelunky gamers.
Who is this for? Like, what are you trying to communicate? I didn't like any of that stuff. But I just need to see games. Like they showed a Mario game, they showed the Mario Kart. Like I need to see some solid first party Nintendo games to get me excited. That stuff is coming. Sure, you know, of course it is, but they haven't showed it yet, so that's what I need to see. I'm optimistic. But I need to see more. I need to see games.
Cool. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I want to see games. The main thing that I want is a unified virtual console. Because if I can, you know, buy old Nintendo games from the NES all the way through to...
Amen, brother. Amen.
The GameCube, at least. You know what I mean? And I can get them for a reasonable price. That's going to be my go-to system for Nintendo games. And I'm going to stop emulating them.
For sure.
And you're a retro. You're a retro gamer, right, Matt?
Yeah, totally. I love that shit. I mean, if I can, they just came out with not too long ago, a couple of days ago, maybe even today, that they're releasing a 3DS with Super Mario World loaded on it, and I was like, oh shit, I might buy a 3DS. You know, like that's exciting for me. So if they can deliver that, and I can get games from NES era all the way through to N64, GameCube, and I can get the newer shit. I'm there. I'll spend the money on it.
Okay, cool,
sweet.
And Vin, like, what do you think overall?
Overall, I think the trailer was a teaser. You know, that was it. That's all it was. They didn't show us anything. They didn't say anything, and that's a bad thing. I don't think they did that right. It should have been the other way around. Like, that is the trailer that should have been on the end of a conference, you know?
Sure.
Like, I have got way too many questions, and that's bad. I shouldn't have questions at this point, especially 5 months out from the console release. But what I would like to see is just more information. Again, you know, I'd like to see exactly what sort of third-party games come into this. I'd like to see the specs of this thing, so I've got confidence that third parties are actually going to jump in and support this thing, so it's not going to be another failed console like the Wii U was. But most of all, it's like you guys said, I just want to see some good games, because at the end of the day, that's all we want to do. We want to play games. Yeah. I'm really happy that it is what it is. You know, it's not this complicated control system console anymore. It's sort of getting on board with the modern day. It's like, okay, it's got 2 analog sticks, a D-pad, and a few buttons on it. That's exactly what we wanted. So I'm glad that it's gotten to the point where we're not using all these crazy waggle controls and all these touch screens and stuff again. Like, they're getting back down to the core basics. So I'm really happy about that. I'm excited about what Nintendo can do. It's just seeing if they can actually deliver on that. I've got too many questions at this point. I'm going to just jump into all these bad conclusions because, yeah, I just need more info, basically. It's tough.
Which sucks, because 5 months out, like, when I made that list of what we're going to talk about today, then I made that list, obviously, before the reveal. It's like games, specs, price, capabilities. None of those are answered
Why don't
yet.
we know that stuff? Yeah. Why do we not know that stuff? Well, like, we should have a price, we should have a spec, we should have a list of games, not a list of publishers. We need a list of games, Nintendo. Yeah. And that's what they need to deliver on. So
I think the exciting thing is they're probably going to be rolling this, hopefully, you never know, probably rolling this stuff out soon. So in the coming months, it's kind of exciting. We'll be getting more information as it comes on, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I've said it 1,000 times. Nintendo make 10 out of 10 games. I absolutely love their software, absolutely love it. But their hardware, not so much. And I really, really wish I could be excited for a Nintendo console, but I'm not right now. And they have all the opportunity in the world to actually change my mind and excite me about it. So,
and hopefully they do.
Yeah, hopefully they do.
How much is too much?
Ooh, what, price-wise?
Yeah, for you to spend on it.
For me, $299 should be. That's what it should be, but I've got a feeling it's going to be $350.
Evan, what about you?
Yeah, I say 300 is perfect. I think once you hear everyone saying 300, it's like, okay, I think the general population has spoken as to how much they're willing to pay, but you never know. Like Vin, I'm worried it's going to be more, but I hope it's 3. How about you, Matt?
I would probably pay up to 350, but it probably should be 250 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what it should be to really make a splash to actually do damage into the current market right now should be 250. It should be. But
yeah,
a lot of gamers are expecting it to be 3.
I'd pick it up right away if it was 250.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, if it was 250, like, they don't have to worry about third-party support because they're going to sell so many units that people are going to want to develop games for it.
And maybe that's a trick up the sleeve. But again, we don't know. So yeah, we'll have to wait.
I wonder if they release this and then they're just going on the internet and they're taking notes and then they're having this conversation as to how much. Maybe they had like a price, but would they do that? You know, like they're saying, probably like, not. we think we're gonna price it either this or this. Let's release this trailer and see what people are saying, and then maybe we can adjust it from there. I don't know.
No, maybe you're right. Again, we'll have to see, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more conversations about the Switch in the coming months. I hope that Nintendo are listening and are actually taking notes and actually doing stuff towards this, you know, because I really don't want to see another Wii U. I really don't, and I don't think gamers do either. They want to see a successful console, and they want to see good games on this thing. So,
right. Hey, right. I like my Wii U, and I don't want to see another Wii U.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. A fan has spoken. So coming up to the end of the podcast, I want to say a massive thank you to berkough, also known as Matt, for joining us, man. It's been really cool to have you on to talk about the Switch and our concerns and all that sort of stuff. So thanks for joining us.
I really appreciate it. Having me back so quick, I didn't expect it. But when you guys hit me up today, I was like, all right, I'm down. Let's do this.
Yeah, man. So. It's nice to get. We've had like quite a spread sort of reaction to this release. So yeah, it's been nice to get your thoughts on it. So we're going to close off with our Twitter handles and any goodbyes you've got, any plugs you've got. So we'll start off with you, Matt. What is your Twitter handle and any goodbyes that you've got?
I am at berkough on Twitter. Berkough on Sifted. I don't really tweet too much, so don't worry about trying to find me on there.
Right. But you are on Sifted as always. So. Yeah,
every day.
Sweet. How about you, Evan?
You can find me at the Stand User on Giant Bomb, Sifted, and Twitter. I'm off and on with Twitter, but recently I've just been taking a bunch of pictures around Kyoto. So if you want to see some random stuff around Kyoto, you can give me a follow if you want. And Vin, how about yourself?
Sweet. So you can find me on Twitter at VinHillArt. You can find me and some of my finger paintings on there from time to time. Like Evan, I'm actually taking a few pictures of Japan recently. So if you're into that crap, then hit me up, and you will probably see some random shrines and stuff at some point. Especially now that it's autumn, I take a lot more pictures. Other than that, you can find me on Sifted, as always. I'm on there arguing with Nintendo fans, as always. So
we all are.
Yeah, we are. But if you want to find the actual podcast on Twitter, you can find us at podcast_reload, and we post up all of the episodes that we put up and anything else that we find random or funny, and we retweet quite a lot of stuff as well. So follow us on that and you'll be up to date with us. But other than that, I just want to say a massive thank you, and we will catch you guys next time. So ta-ta. What did I miss?
Right. Switch it up and switch it out.
I'm buying it if that's the fucking if that's gonna be their tagline.